Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time. Get yourself a nice robe and settle in for an amp tutorial. There's a lot of different amps at Battalion, but we're going to go over the most basic and common volume controls and gain controls. When I say gain controls, I mean distortion. That's what it's going to mean to you. Do you want a clean sound out of the guitar, or do you want a distorted sound? The first one I'm going to show you is drive plus volume. Keep your volume super low and your drive pretty high, and you'll have a really distorted sound. Think of the drive as the amount of distortion and the volume as exactly that, how loud it is. Adding drive is going to add a lot of volume, so always make these corrections slowly. Next, gain volume. Works exactly like drive and volume. Treat those the same. You're just going to happen to see those two different phrases, either gain or drive. Treat them the same. This next one is interesting. Pre and post. Pre and post. Pre-gain, think of that as the amount of distortion. Pre-gain. Crank up the pre-gain, you're going to have a really distorted sound. Post is volume. Now we have the dual rectifier, the giant Mesa heads that you'll see on the half stacks in a lot of the rooms. This one is slightly more complicated. You look at your loop active, solo, and output. Solo is that heavier, distorted sound. Output, you're going to have up a little bit to get any sound at all. If output is all the way down, that's a master volume. So again, really tiny corrections because these things get friggin' loud. So little bit of output. You're going to see three different sections here. Whichever one happens to be lit up when you turn the thing on, that's what you're going to run with. I'm going to leave it at that. You can choose your channel from a control on the back of the head. For the most part, I think you're going to find everything you need given whatever channel you've got to work with. So say, as in this picture, the channel all the way on the right is lit up. You've got a master volume. You have a gain. Master and gain works just like drive and volume, or pre and post, or gain and volume on the other pictures we looked at. High gain, low master equals really distorted. Know that these amps are capable of way more distortion than the Fender style. Presence is your shimmery, super high end, bass, mid, and treble. Don't have to explain that. That's as deep as we're going to go. I think next week I'm going to actually do some in-studio footage and show you guys some of these things in action. But this is your overview and hopefully a decent reference for you. Last piece of the puzzle, power and standby. Turn the power on first. That's going to warm up the tubes. Do that when you first get into your studio to set up. Turn the power on. Leave it on standby. You won't have any output. Switch that on, then you're ready to go. It's not good for the amps to be constantly turned off and on completely. If you're doing a day of lessons, just leave those amps on standby in between lessons, and that's your on and off. And at the end of the day, of course, remember to turn it completely off. That's it. See you guys next week. Peace out.